Hi there, it's Roger V, and I'd like to talk for just a minute about SEO versus PPC, search engine optimization versus pay-per-click. So first, a little bit of ground explanation. Search engine optimization is the traffic that got there on their own. It's because Google decided that this particular page was the most relevant result for whatever it is that you typed in. Google now blends their results. For the last several years, they've been blending their results. So that could include a map. If you search for typically something that's local, if you search for Los Angeles Porsche mechanic, you will see a map oftentimes at the top of the page. Because they know that's a local service, you're probably not going to drive too far for that, and it's something you have to be there physically for. Other times it'll include videos. So if you search for Cascade video of a certain song, for example, it'll show you the results on YouTube or off of their music services. And occasionally it'll also show images. It depends. If you search for an icon or something, it may show you an actual image result. Long and short of it, Google's just trying to predict what it is that you actually want. Now, on the very top and on the right side are relevant advertising from companies who paid to be there. That's called pay-per-click. A common question that comes up about this is which one is better? And the answer is, would you rather rent a house or would you rather build a house? Those are really your two options. You can also, in some cases, buy an existing house. But the analogy is with pay-per-click is that you're renting a house. Now, the upside is you get to move into the house, page one, as soon as you start paying. The downside is the minute you stop paying, you need to move out. If you build a house, you will find it takes more time, usually in most cases, to get to page one. However, you're more likely to stay there for longer, and it's also an asset, and in the long run, it is definitely cheaper. Furthermore, when people ask which one is better, what they're really asking is which one's going to make me the most money. And the answer isn't one or the other. Ideally, it should be both. And here's what I mean. So pay-per-click is a wonderful way to discover profitable keywords. And that is more of a science than you would expect. A lot of, especially web designers, if they're not experienced internet marketers, that it really does take some time to discover the exact phrases that are the most profitable for you and to discover the revenue potential of a given key phrase. Now, this is a little bit tricky because the traffic quality is better on the organic side of the page. And the reason is because that consumers realize the difference between a paying advertiser and somebody who's there because of their editorial content. If you read a magazine and there's an article written about your company, and it's an article, you're probably likely to really credit that business and to assume better things about that company. In a perfect world, what we do is we use PPC, pay-per-click, to discover the most valuable keyword. We can quickly get onto page one, and by doing so, we can quickly discover which keywords are the best converting for your particular business. That's important because we can discover that for, let's say, $20 or $50 or maybe $100. Whereas if we were to search engine optimize, sometimes key phrases, if they have a lot of traffic volume and perhaps a lot of competition, might cost several $1,000s worth of time in order to optimize and might take several months. In addition, we can use keyword tools to piggyback on your competitors. So if you've got some specific competitors that you can tell us their websites and they are using pay-per-click, then we can use tools like spyfoo.com and Keyword Spy. And basically some of these sites, what they do is they track the spend and the keywords of these competitors and use that to kind of map some of their success and map the phrases that for which they're targeting. That allows us to sort of stand on their shoulders as we start to build out your campaign. Now, worth discussing is the difference between push media and pull media. Strictly speaking, all of this falls under search engine marketing. The difference, though, is that with pay-per-click, you want to make sure and send people through a landing page. Now, a landing page is designed for really one thing, and that's to capture the information about your clients. When you get to one of these pages, you typically have really only one choice. It's to give up some information in order to continue or have to leave. You don't want to ever dump paid traffic into your main website. You will be losing money. You will be bleeding off income because they'll get to your website and it's too easy for them to surf around, gather information. Next thing you know, the dog barks, dinner's ready, something happens, they leave the site, and bam, just like that, you've paid several dollars to get them to your website, and then they get interrupted and you didn't capture them, and if you didn't get them in the first couple of seconds, then you may have lost them forever and just wasted several dollars. And that can quickly add up. Sometimes some popular keywords can be $15 a click. If you convert 1 out of 5 people that get to your webpage because you've got a really compelling offer, or 1 out of 10, even if it's, let's say, $10 per click, but you convert 1 out of 10, then that's $100 per lead for a real live body. Whether or not that works for your business is going to vary based on your industry. Now, squeeze pages and landing pages should be used for any push media. So if you're running TV, if you're running radio, if you're running postcard ads, where you're out there actively pushing people to your website, then you should really use tracking domains, tracking phone numbers, and tracking URLs. So what that might look like is yourcompanyfreetips.com for postcards and yourcompany.secrets.com for radio. For example, you run those two different ads, and ideally they should both include your brand name and maybe some sort of benefit statement like free tips or free secrets or hidden mistakes or something like that, where people have an incentive to go through that domain. And then what you do is you look at the traffic stats for that domain, and thus you know how that media is working for you. So every marketing project that we do is very metrics driven, and we will basically force you to not lose money. And the reason is because it's in your best interest and it's just ethically the right choice. So we will pretty much force you to do that. If you are spending more money with us, we will set this up in advance and share these metrics with you. So you'll be able to really hold all of your marketing dollars, including to us, accountable. Now, when it comes to search engine optimization, the strategy needed for that is more like dropping fish hooks into the water. So typically what we need to do there is give Google lots of content, and Yahoo and Bing, lots of content to grab onto. So think of these as going out fishing, and rather than dropping one fish hook in the water, we want to drop hundreds of fish hooks in the water. And each one of those might look like articles sharing your expertise or an article about a given key phrase. A lot of times long tail key phrases, because they're so specific and you're reaching people that are really ready to buy and they're an exact match for your product or service, a lot of times they can actually outperform a broad key phrase. So if you search for 2010 Ford models, you're probably just looking hypothetically and sort of generally at the new lineup of cars. If you look for 2006 Ford Escape Hybrid Los Angeles, that's a very niche key phrase. However, anybody searching for that is probably ready to write a check and buy or set up the financing and actually buy the car. They know what they want and they're looking for something specific. So sometimes, even though traffic is lower, these fish hooks can actually capture more fish, and especially when we aggregate them together with a search engine optimized framework, we can set that up so that Google really loves this content and decides that it is the most relevant page to serve to a given phrase. I hope this has helped you. The next step is a friendly discussion about where you are and where you want to be. It's up to us to connect those dots, right? We'll help you sort that out. Just let us know the results you're looking to achieve. We'll take a look at the assets that you already have in play, and we'll make a plan. Remember, we are believers that all the money you ever spend, including to us, should be held accountable. Marketing should be a profit center, not a cost. So for those who are concerned about the cost, we can sometimes break programs down so that you're realizing an increase in business before you get too far into the spending. Long and short of it, this is designed to be a profit center. That is the business that we're in. Have a discussion today with your Swift Web Designer consultant, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.